I think the time is there, so we can start off. So I think we have one or two members coming up and people are joining up. So Kumar Vikrant, very nice. Welcome Kumar Vikrant and Anoop, Akansha, Divya, Shalini. We can start in another 2 minutes. I think it's 5. Should we wait for all the other participants or should we start? What do you say, Ekta?
I think let's start. It's fine. We should start on
Yeah,
time.
sure, definitely. So, good evening, everyone. I welcome you to the insightful conversation and session. I, Dr. Amrinder Kaur, on behalf of MCube, a women consortium of money, mentoring, and motivation, welcome you to the first episode of PAIN series. PAIN is positive attitude in negative situations. And before I introduce you to the panel members today, I would like to share a brief about MCube. MCube is money, mentoring, and motivation, and is a collaborative effort of like-minded women with more than 100 years of diverse experience who are on a mission to empower many more. The consortium is by women for the exponential growth in learning and development. Pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day or a year, but eventually it will subside and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it lasts forever. With these words from Lance Armstrong and with the intention to understand pain a bit more and how we can embrace it in our life, we bring to you the first episode of Alone or Lonely. And I would like to introduce to our panel experts, Ms. Shalini Vikrant and Ms. Akansha Tyagi. The panel is moderated by me, Dr. Amrinder Kaur. I work as a consultant, researcher, mentor, advisor, and academician, and I primarily practice to support business success to customer experience management. Through this panel, we want to build conversation to particularly understand the paradox of loneliness, being alone or lonely. Maybe embrace our emotions and feelings to understand ourselves a little more. And definitely we'll be sharing some tools to take care for a better me. The conversation, the discussion is basically perspectives from practitioners. And whatever questions you have, please put them in the chat box. We will be taking them after the panel discussions closes up. But do put up whatever the questions comes to your mind. Have as many questions as you have. And in between the panel as well, I will be urging with some questions for thoughts, and we look forward to the insights from you all. You can unmute yourself and further share. So now I'm introducing our panel experts, Ms. Shalini Vikrant. She is a writer, a motivational speaker, and founder of a program called the Ambassador of Joy. She believes that the words can heal and connects with people through her poems, prose, short quotes, and captivating audiovisuals. Her words have innate vibrations and positive energy that have turned the lives of many people around. She holds a master's degree in English from Delhi University and PhD in marketing management. She keeps herself updated with various courses, reading materials, and has recently completed the Science of Well-being from Yale University. She began her career as a copywriter in an advertising agency and went on to work with Times of India, among other corporate, for a couple of years. Good to have you, Shalini, here. Has Shalini joined? Shalini, good to have you here.
Hi. Thank you, Amrinda. Thank you, everyone, for having me.
Thank
you, everyone, for joining me for this amazing discussion. And I'm so looking forward to great learning with all of you.
Definitely. And I'm looking forward to learn more, experience more, and definitely feel the power of your words.
Thank you. And thank you for the generous introduction. It was quite generous.
Okay. So our second panel expert is Ms. Akansha Tyagi. She has more than a decade experience in training and development industry and is also an NLP practitioner. She has successfully assisted more than 1,000 corporate and individuals from various backgrounds to bring massive transformation in their lives and drive the vigor to continue throughout. She is on a mission to make business easy for women to uplift the global economy, and so that women can become independent decision makers and help each other to grow instead of competing with each other. She believes in the process of experiential learning by discovering, and is passionate to make ideas go live with consistent, innovative approach to make a change in the world. Welcome and good to have you, Akansha, here in the panel. We look forward to your insights and perspectives.
Thank you so much, Amrinda. Thank you for introducing me. I welcome you all for this lively session on loneliness or aloneness. And I'm sure you're going to take insightful information. We'll try to explore the difference between alone and lonely. Thank you so much, Amrinda.
Absolutely. And I'm absolutely excited and looking forward to think, introspect, and learn with all of you. So our recent global study, since I have that academician background, so definitely I will be quoting a little bit of researches here and there. So a recent global study suggests that an average 60% people worldwide suffer from loneliness. And this is definitely increasing when we have lockdowns due to COVID-19, and it's taking toll on the mental health care. There are neurological changes as well. And that makes me wonder, what is alone or lonely? Is it just a thought of being with myself or something where I crave for a change? Maybe it comes with an expectation which is being unmet. As a person, aloneness or being with myself is something I always want, because as a professional, this is a silence, a positive space of being with myself, which is important for my own spiritual, personal, and professional growth. So I'll definitely look forward to the point of view, and I'd like Shalini to help us understand what alone or lonely particularly is, and why are we scared of being alone or maybe lonely?
Thank you, Amrinda. It's a very valid and critical question in these days. Firstly, I want to ask all of you, how good are you at being alone?
So people, everybody.
I would love you to answer, how good are you? Good, very good. You don't like to be alone. You love to be with people.
So everyone, please unmute whatever you want to answer up.
You can either answer or you can type. Let this be an interactive session. And along with this question, I want to throw another question. At this point in time, right now, at this moment, who is with you? Is there somebody with you sitting next to you? So how good are you at being alone? And who is with you right now?
So I think if I answer up, I say,
Yeah, please.
I am with myself. And I am my best friend. I am forever the best friend of mine, and I just love myself. So I answer it. If anybody else wants to take or share any other perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something which, an answer which I would love to look forward to. I would love to hear from everyone. What happens, especially, you know, if we talk about COVID, pre-COVID and post-COVID, how life has changed as per people. Of course, we are isolated at home. We are not socializing so as much as we used to. And we feel that life is perfect. Are we going back to that perfect? When are we going to go that perfect life? I want to ask you, are you sure that life is perfect and this is not perfect? Think about it. This is the time when life has given us an opportunity to enjoy our aloneness. What is aloneness? Aloneness is when we are able to be with ourselves comfortably. That comfortably is a very important word. We are not running away from ourselves. We are giving time to ourselves. We are happy with ourselves. What happens when we try and look for happiness in others, in external source? That's when the gap starts to begin. What is loneliness? Loneliness is a subjective feeling of feeling unloved. You feel unloved, you feel unwanted, you feel dejected, you feel you're not worth anymore, there is less self-worth. And how does it come to you? Why do you feel so? When there is a gap between what you desire and what you need and what you think that you have got. Just mark these two words, what you or we think what we have got. We are not even aware of what we have received. And we keep thinking that I haven't got this. I am not appreciated. I am not validated. And I feel so unloved. And when I feel unloved, I feel sorrow. I feel pain. I feel hurt. And that just takes me, it drags me into this whole phase of loneliness. Loneliness is becoming an epidemic. Why? Can we enjoy this beautiful, beautiful aloneness? What makes us think that there is a friend within me who cannot be the bestest of the friend? In fact, he or she can be my parent too. Imagine there is someone who is walking with me at every step of my life. Whether it is he's celebrating with me, he's mourning with me, he's laughing, crying, doing anything and everything what I'm doing. He or she is not leaving me. She's there right every time, every moment of my life and loving me unconditionally. She's not asking me that, well, you didn't give me this, I'm now going to love you. If I have that feeling of comfort and joy within me, I don't have to seek that appreciation from others. I am not saying that we should not have friends. Friends are very important because we are a social community. We need socializing. But if we are looking for happiness through them, that is where we are going wrong. And
yes. So is it because of some unmet needs that we, or maybe we feel that feeling of loneliness, or is it maybe lacking something in us that makes us not connect to ourselves or something, or maybe we are putting lesser time? Was it what it is? Akansha, Akansha, would you like to demystify this a bit, the paradox of loneliness versus alone?
Thank you, Shalini and Amrinda. So first we need to understand, as Shalini mentioned, the difference between alone and lonely. So lonely is even if you have your closest relationships, people around you, you're not happy with yourself. Alone is you have people around you or you don't have anyone around you. You're happy with yourself. The complete paradox stands over here, and it's not a philosophical thing. It's very scientific. I'll be sharing few examples. So let's try and understand. For a kid, let's start from beginning. For a kid, he has some conditions with his parents. And what are those conditions? Mama, if I'll come first, you have to bring me that game. If I win this competition, you have to bring me that. So where does this happiness lies? It's there. We find happiness. Instead of here, we try to find it somewhere there. What is there? There is something external. Idhar to nahi hai. That happiness is not here. We're trying to find it somewhere else. Now, in that run of finding happiness outside, we tend to depend on others, the external factor. If I get that phone or a game, I feel happy. If I don't get that, I feel unhappy. Now let's try and understand this thing. This isolation paradox has few factors that needs to be taken care of. So if I talk about this time of pandemic, people are cribbing about the situation that we can't go out, we can't meet people, we can't go to our work, we can't party and this and that. The matter is not going out. The matter is more of being happy with oneself. What we try to do is, by going out or meeting with people, what we try to do is, we try to find that happiness, that joy from others, from other things. वो चाहे पार्टी हो, चाहे दूसरों से मिलना हो, चाहे वो घूमना हो, हम उस हैप्पीनेस को फाइंड आउट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. और जब वो, क्योंकि हमें यहाँ पर नहीं पता कि हमें वो हैप्पीनेस इज होम मेड, दैट इज देयर इन द बॉडी, in us, and we don't try to understand that. We try to find it from someone else. अब उसमें क्या होता है, isolation एक, it's completely up to you how you take it. Neurological pathways होते हैं हमारे brain से connected होते हैं. So isolation tends to make you feel in mortal danger. Now how does it that? So simple चीज है, we are conditioned in such a way. When we are born, we had those two hands of the doctor जिन्होंने हमें लिया, then उन दो hands ने दूसरे दो hands में दिया, mother की hand में दिया, and we are continuously feeling that touch. क्योंकि हम उस touch को feel कर रहे हैं और शुरू से अब हम उसके habitual हो गए हैं. Can we do an activity over here, all of you?
Yeah.
That? If you can unmute and reply, everyone, please.
Sure.
Sure. I think
Thank
you
you.
go ahead. Yeah.
And if you can have the videos as well. Can we?
Let everyone be comfortable. I think it's okay. Let's go ahead. So,
All right. So I won't be able to see you, that means.
yeah.
All right. Try doing this. But if I won't be able to see the video, so thank you, Sukhji. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, let's do this. As I'll say one, you all are supposed to raise your hands. And as I'll say two, as I'll say one, you have to raise your hands. And as I'll say two, you have to shift your position. Either you turn this side or either you turn this side. Can we do that? Whatever position you feel, sorry. So either on the left or on the right. And I'll say one, you have to raise your hands. And as I'll say two, you have to just change your position like this. Can we do that?
Yep.
All right, superb. So let's start. One. Wow, Shalini, that's a good way to do that. Two. One. Two. Come on, people, come on. Two. One. I need
Yeah, true.
answers from you. So what was happening?
We were conditioned
from you.
to we
Yeah,
were
we lost
conditioned
focus.
to have followed the pattern 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then we
Okay,
made a twist in
more.
it.
Thank you. Very nice. Few
we
more.
lost focus because we were actually expecting a certain thing that after 1 2 will come or after 2 1 will come. So within that, the mix match confused my mind. Okay, what should I do next?
Okay. More. Sujit, what do you think?
It's the same thing. Like I was expecting after 1, the 2 will come.
Yeah, so
Oh,
the
I was
expectation.
going that direction only.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Okay. Rinku, what do you think?
Yeah, I was enjoying. I was having fun, but of course, I was expecting a pattern, but it didn't work out.
Okay. Great. Great. So similarly, when I talk about isolation paradox, it is that paradox comes from that conditioning, that pattern that we are following since childhood. So a few factors like sensitivity to rejection plays a very important role in this isolation paradox. When we care much about the judgment of others, we tend to hide that part of ourselves uh, that can be that we are skeptical about. So there was a research done by a very renowned psychologist. His name was Steve Cole, and that research was done on certain group of people who were at that point of time they were stigmatized, and the people who accepted who they are and how they feel to certain issues, they were less lonely. But the people who hide themselves, they don't wanted others to know about their personality trait. They don't want others to reveal that how they feel to a certain situation or circumstance. They were more lonely as compared to the group A. So are you trying to get my point? How it's happening, right?
Yeah.
So for lonely subjects, that immune system, our biological immune system, that differs from those of non-lonely subjects. The neurological pathways, those act according to that. So the people who feel lonely, they tend to they have that low immunity system. Neurological pathways they try to understand, because how communication is through the neurological pathways, through the mind. When we feel lonely, we tend to get a few ailments, a few disorders, at times many serious ailments as well. At times, yes, it happens when we are bottling up few emotions or certain judgments about ourselves, because we are not trying to understand ourselves, we are trying to understand ourselves from the eyes of others. So we try to build that characteristic about ourselves from the eyes of others, because we are not trying to find out ourselves. We are not going here, we are going here. So in many times when I go for my training programs and I ask students, in fact people from corporate backgrounds, I ask them if you can brief me about your strengths. So majority of the people, they have one answer, that is, I'm very hardworking. They always say that. And when we try to, as a trainer, we try to dig in, we try to introspect to that hardworking wala cheese, we get to know that either the teacher, either their parents, or few of their friends, they told them you're very hardworking. But that innate quality, the innate attribute, the trait they have, they are completely unaware about that, completely unaware of that. They don't try to get that attention towards them. They try to get the attention to X out, Y out, Z out, and so many things outside, external happiness. That is external happiness. And when we try to search for external happiness, this is loneliness. And when we're happy with ourselves, and this is, I would like to add one point over here is that everyone feels lonely. Me too. Everyone feels lonely. It's not that if you have studied NLP, or you are a psychologist, or you are a clinical psychologist, or some expert yogi, you don't feel loneliness. No, it's not that. Everyone feels that. It's just that you know how to deal with that. Just know how to deal with that. You don't try to take that thing onto your head and react. It's just event plus response equals to outcome. So something happened to you, you responded to that situation, and there is an outcome. So how you responded to that situation matters. But yes, loneliness impacts your neurological pathways, that is scientifically proven, and it impacts your health if you don't understand your emotions.
Yeah, so that's definitely very interesting. I think that loneliness and being alone means we are embracing us, and loneliness is trying to connect to the others' expectations.
Right.
Thank you, Shalini and Akansha. And
I want to
please.
to add more to what Akansha said.
Sure.
So as Akansha said that, of course, all of us at some point in time will feel lonely and have felt lonely.
Absolutely.
The trick is to acknowledge, to deal with it. Second, loneliness affects the neurological system. And I will say that I will do a quick Amrinder with, अगर आपकी इजाजत हो, एक मैं आपको बताती हूँ कि अगर if loneliness affects your neurological condition, let's reverse it. Yeah. So if we smile, even if it is fake, I want all of you to smile. And right now, if you're having a bad day, still I want you to smile. Look at me and just smile and give me a nice wide smile. Everyone who's on Facebook, who's on Zoom, you can just laugh and smile,
I think,
and just make it as wide as you can. And when you do that, and you just keep, you can just even if you don't feel like smiling, just smile and just see how your depression or the lowness that you're feeling, it just comes down. So if the mind is playing a game with you, play it back with it. Just let's be smarter. Let's be smarter. And this is just, snap your finger and just do it.
That's I think I'm already feeling wonderful. So there's another research I'd like to share, that the BBC Loneliness Experiments is a larger scale global study, which recently published this much anticipated research that that self-reported loneliness is highest among young people, men, and those in individualistic society. So before I open and put up another question before the panelists, I like to ask anyone who wants to add in their perspective, is alone or lonely an emotional response, or there is more to it? Or is there more to it? Yeah, Miss. Is alone or lonely an emotional response, or is there more to it? Because BBC loneliness experiment, which has just published its results, shows that...
मना क्यों नहीं करती है तुम उनको?
Hold on a minute. Yes. Yeah. So BBC's loneliness experiment says that being alone is usually found or is highest among young people, men, and those in individualistic societies. So my question to all of you is, what is your perspective? Is alone or lonely an emotional response, or is there more to it? So whoever wants to give or share their perspective, please unmute yourself and let everyone hear up. And then we definitely get back to our panelists to understand more about it. And I have the next question. Yeah. Anyone? Yeah, Ekta, please.
So, this topic, alone or lonely, reminds me of a Hindi movie song. 100 में एक में भी तना है, 100 में भी अकेले हैं. So I think for me, I look forward to being alone because, my work demands that I get some thinking time. Plus I have a toddler, who obviously consumes a lot of energy for me. So I need that alone time to think, to do my own stuff, to say so my me time. I think, when you feel lonely is when there is something which is bothering you at a very fundamental level. And I completely agree with both Shalini and Akansha, the panelists, that I think it is more, the moment you start giving more weightage to the external factors in your life, and the moment the focus shifts from you to the others, I think that's where loneliness sets in. And predominantly, I think that is one of the reasons that we've been hearing so many instances of people wanting to end their life because they are unable to be happy with themselves. So if you're able to internalize this, and I think understand that life is not just about pleasing others. Because if you cannot please your own self, I don't think you can please anybody else. So I look at it this way, that the anytime I feel low, as the panelists also said, that we all feel alone. I mean, we like to be alone, but we all feel lonely at some point or the other. But if you are persistent in your loneliness, that I think leads to those neurological disorders. So for me, Shalini said smile. For me, what works is I dress up, and immediately my mood changes. So I think we all need to find that one factor which can just totally transit our mind and look at pain, taking cue from your topic, look at pain not as pain, but look at it as PAIN, which I would like the panelists to demystify for all of us. Why did you not just say pain? Why are you saying PAIN?
Sure, I think that's interesting. So Rinku wants to put up some perspective with respect to this question. Please go ahead, Rinku.
So I have a question here for the panelists. Being alone is wonderful for a person like me, and especially in this time when everybody is at home, whether they are schooling or they are working. I'm craving for my alone time. However, when it's about being lonely, and like we said, everyone goes through that feeling. I also feel a lot lonely at a lot of times. But what I want to ask the panelists is that it comes with a lot of guilt. For someone like me, I think everything works around me pretty well. Like I have a great family, good set of friends. There's a roof on the head. There is, enough food to eat. I have good work to do. But still, there are times when I feel lonely, and what follows the feeling of loneliness is this guilt and this shame at times that, I don't deserve to be upset, or why am I feeling lonely? You have everything. Why do I feel sad? The other conflict that I go through is, so is it okay to, or does everyone feel like that, you come with a feeling of shame and guilt? Because that's more worrisome. Being lonely is a forgotten story, but then you start feeling shameful and feeling guilt about it. The other thing is, why is it, it comes as a retrospect to me. So for example, I'm upset about something. So let's say I'm working and things are not working around, right? So I sent a proposal to a client, it did not turn back, and I feel depressed, I feel upset. And then I end up into my cycle of being lonely, and I'm like, I'm lonely. Okay, I have my partner Amrinda with me, who I talk about work, or my sister, or my family, or friends. But still, there are times when it comes as a secondary aspect, and I sometimes end up saying, I'm alone in this, or I'm fighting this on my own, and why do I have to go through this? And then you start feeling lonely because you get into that circle of why me. So is it the right way of interpreting what you're going through? Do you agree?
So before I let the panelists answer up, I'll definitely. So it's definitely perfect. You are perfect, and you should accept you the way you are, and you're just perfect. Or I think now let the panelists answer up. I think they are the better.
It's a wonderful, beautiful question, and very, very close to my heart. It is, we take ourselves too seriously. Firstly, because we take ourselves so seriously, we engage in this self-talk, derogatory talk that, I shouldn't have done this. I wish I could have done this, or guilt, or shame, as you said. First thing I feel is that we have to tell ourselves, it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay if we did something wrong. Even if we murdered, all right, there must be a reason that we did. and we say that, we have to ask for forgiveness. if forgiveness is important, first we have to accept. If we don't know that we are hungry, how will I look for food? If I don't know that I'm tired, how will I know that I have to sleep? So firstly, the important thing is that I know that I'm feeling guilty, the first step is taken care of. You know that you're feeling guilty, or you know that we are feeling this way. There are people who don't even know that. And that's when actually you slip into that depression, you slip into that loneliness, and it is a major health hazard. So when the first step is taken care of, then it comes to self-love. We have to tell ourselves that it is okay. I have made this mistake. I'm going to rectify it. How? If I have made this mistake, probably thinking that knowingly, unknowingly, that I thought that probably if I did this, this would happen, but it didn't happen. We are in this school, and if we see that we have come here to learn, we are going to make mistakes. And making mistakes is a good thing. Unless we make mistakes, how will we learn? I think we should all write a book on failures, because failure is the best teacher. And accept it, and we embrace our pain. As Ekta said, yes, this is our main topic: positive and negative situations, our positive attitude. The moment I know that this is where I'm lacking, this is where I'm going wrong, the loneliness is also pain, all these emotions are pain, I am ready to learn. When sometimes we feel a little pain here in my heart. Not pain, as in there's some strange feeling, as if some sinking feeling we all feel here. Understand that feeling. Accept this feeling. And know that yourself is trying to talk to you and tell you as a parent. When a child comes to the parent and say that, Mama or Papa, I did this, I'm sorry. What would you do? Would you rebuke that child? You'll tell that child it's okay. Galti ho gayi? Fine, let's move on. That's what we have to tell ourselves. If I know that, here myself, my best friend, my parent, my teacher will tell me this, listen to yourself. The moment we do, we will try to getting rid of this emotion becomes easier. So learn from our pain, emotions, and look at the positive and the negative situation. In fact, I want to tell you one more thing. Coming out of loneliness is the best thing to do is, of course, as we said, self-love. One thing which is very important in this is making the others feel happy. When we do that, we will forget our pain. If we are dealing with guilt, if we go and make somebody smile, that reduces. COVID, we are wearing a mask. Tell me, why are we wearing a mask? We are wearing a mask not only for ourselves, we are wearing a mask for the other person too. So we have to move in harmony, and we know it's okay. If I'm guilty, the other person also has done something wrong. We are in the same class. And we have to learn, we have to pass the test. We might fail. We'll take the test again.
So I think we all need to be gentle towards us as well, to accept
Absolutely.
the way we are. I think that's an interesting perspective. And with that, I put up another question to you, Shalini. So is there any particular phase when we feel alone or lonely with respect to age or something? What do you think?
So age is just a number. We say that, right? In fact, there's a joke, among my friends and family, that whenever we ask Shalini her age, she just does not. She's totally lost. It's a fact. I still ask them to calculate. And my children, they say that, Mama, you've been 46 for the past how many years?
So that's good. So I'm 16 since many years. So that's a good thing.
So it's even though we are adding years to our life, I think we should add experience to our life. And yes, broadly speaking, coming back to your question, the transitional phases of our life is when we are more prone to loneliness, feel loneliness. For instance, adolescence. When we move into adolescence, we want that cool factor. We want that wow factor. We want to be in that circuit, where people say that, we need that power. we need that again. We need that external acceptance, acknowledgement. And when we don't get it as a teen, we start slipping into sadness, sorrow, pain, depression. And what happens when we feel lonely? As research says, that adolescents, they engage in risky behavior. And especially at this point in time, we are seeking acknowledgement from the opposite gender. And we do turn into sexual liaisons, some people. There's some addiction. There can be substance abuse, even in adults, and loneliness. Gambling is one addiction, which we resort to. Why? Why we are addicted to something? Because we feel that we have control over that. We want that rush, we want that high, which we are not getting from ourselves and we are not getting from others. We are trying to figure out in that adolescence age that where we stand in this whole world. The second phase, which I feel is very important, is when, as parents, when our children, they are ready to move out, step out in the world. We feel the nest is empty. We feel there is no mission left in our lives. That is when most of the parents, they feel totally depressed, and probably they feel useless. They don't even know what to do. They want to hold back their children and don't want to let them go. But still, that is life. They have to. We will come to the tools and what should be done to combat that. As we're talking about age, is one phase which I feel the fag end of a life. In fact, I don't know why we call it a fag end of a life. Old age, I feel that is not a fag end. It's a beautiful beginning of the life which we want to start after we cross the rainbow bridge. So that old age is when there is nothing to look forward to. In adolescence, there's so much to look forward to. We have dreams, we have missions, and we're trying to fit into that whole culture. And in old age, we have come to full circle and we don't know what to do with our lives. That is when loneliness sets in. We don't know who to talk to. So many of our loved ones have, we have lost them, they're no more, and we feel that we are alone. The research says that we lose thousands and thousands of old people to loneliness. So phases, everything comes down to, again, being comfortable in our own skin. Risky, when we know that we are feeling lonely, there are few signs we need to see. Are we picking up, if there is a donut and kept in front of me, there's something else, is it always that I want to pick up a donut? Because I'm finding solace in something else. This medical experts, the sleep expert says, it's difficult. It's not difficult to fall asleep when you're feeling lonely. It is difficult to stay asleep, a sound sleep. Career, when we are starting our career, we have those dreams. I want to do this, I want to do that. Things may not happen that way. That is a very important phase in our life. And we slip into depression and loneliness if it doesn't happen. So we need to first understand, be confident and be secure within ourselves that whatever it is, I'm there. I am complete, I am whole. If this is not working right now, it is going to work. When a child goes to school, a new school, the child is under pressure because he or she doesn't have friends. My children, we have moved so many cities and countries. How do they also have to manage that because they feel lonely. They feel alone. Then how do they make new friends? So what do we tell them? Be comfortable. When you're comfortable, there is this vibe which you're giving to the other person, and that person is going to come to you. So you are not seeking that. First, people will seek you.
So that is interesting, that be comfortable so people will seek you. So on that pretext, I want Akansha to help us understand, is there some social or cultural conditioning, or is there personality context with respect to feeling alone or lonely?
Thank you, Amrinda. Before I answer this question, I will go back to the question asked by Rinku, that feeling of guilt and loneliness that she discussed about. So when we say why me, why I am suffering from this thing, whether it's loneliness or it's guilt, so we need to understand, instead of why, let's try and ask questions what it is that I'm feeling guilty about. What it is, किस वजह से वो मुझे feel हो रहा है, किस वजह से I'm in that state, the reason. And majority of the cases, I can assure, majority of the cases, it's either it's someone outside us. It's not us. मैं अपने आप को गिल्टी फील नहीं करा रही हूँ. एक एक्सपेक्टेशन सेट करी हुई है हमने किसी के साथ. Can be friends, can be relatives, can be daughter, son, husband, brother. वो एक्सपेक्टेशन सेट करी हुई है हमने. So how we are living a life? We are living a life on transactional basis. जैसे हम accounts में deposit करते हैं, मनी डिपॉजिट किया, तभी 50,000 का हमने चेक डिपॉजिट किया, उसमें से हम 10,000 निकालते हैं, कभी 20,000 निकालते हैं, कभी 25,000 निकालते हैं अकॉर्डिंगली, राइट? सिमिलरली वी हैव सेट सम एक्सपेक्टेशंस. हमने एक्सपेक्टेशन सेट कर दी, वो डिपॉजिट कर दिया हमने एक्सपेक्टेशंस. अब हम उन एक्सपेक्टेशंस को निकालने की कोशिश करते हैं, उस डिपॉजिट को विड्रॉ करने की कोशिश करते हैं, एक्सपेक्टेशन नाम के डिपॉजिट को विड्रॉ करने की कोशिश करते हैं. बट हम भूल जाते हैं मैं हूँ a different individual, मेरी बेटी different individual है, मेरा बेटा different individual, my husband is a different individual. लेकिन since we are connected, we tend to bring those expectations in front of us every time. There's one favorite story of mine that is completely made by me, and कोई इसमें ज़्यादा interesting climax और डायरेक्शन नहीं है, बट स्टिल आई वुड लाइक टू, बिकॉज बहुत ज्यादा मैं इसको शेयर करती हूँ. There were two boys, freshers, कॉलेज में एडमिशन होना था दोनों का. दोनों ने ही पहले बॉय ए एंड बॉय बी. बॉय ए ने he went to a branded store, वहां से उसने ज़ारा की एक शर्ट खरीदी और एविएटर के ग्लासेस खरीदे, और जितना वो महंगा खरीद सकता था, बिकॉज इट इज हिज फर्स्ट डे, ही वांटेड टू गो टू द कॉलेज एंड ही वांटेड टू इम्प्रेस हिज peers and also girls. So he went, और बड़े स्टाइल में he entered in the college. One of his friends, he came, yeah, you are looking too good, and he was like, he was very happy. वो थोड़ा सा और आगे गया, वहां पे fortunately एक लड़की आ गई. You are looking handsome. वो स्माइल, इतनी स्माइल थी, वो इतनी स्माइल हो गई, वो थोड़ा सा और आगे गया. अब थर्ड केस में उसका एक बेस्टी था या जो भी फ्रेंड था, उससे पूछना पड़ेगा जाकर. उसने बोला, यार ये व्हाइट शर्ट इज ओके, बट आई थिंक यू शुड ट्राई सम अदर कलर. इसमें ना तेरा कलर थोड़ा डल लग रहा है. एंड ही वाज लाइक, अरे यार अभी तक सब लोगों ने तारीफ करी थी और इसने ऐसा बोल दिया. नाउ अब वो थोड़ा सा अपने लुक को लेके ही बिकेम लिटिल एप्रीहेंसिव. उसने थोड़ा शर्ट को कर दिया और उस पे एक हैंकी लगा लिया कि कुछ कलर थोड़ा सा अलग लगे. तो उसका जो हैप्पीनेस था वो किस पे डिपेंड कर रहा है? दूसरों पे. प्लीज ट्राई टू रिलेट दैट. आई एम ट्राइंग टू रिलेट दिस the things that we face on daily basis through the story. The boy B, he also bought branded shirt, he also bought branded things, he also entered the college. एक student ने उसको बोला, you are looking good. दूसरे ने बोला, you are not looking that good. The first one who said you are looking good, he said thank you to him. He moved ahead. The second one who came to him and said, you are not looking that good. So, okay, thank you for telling me. And he went. Now see the mind state, how we are responding to that event. As I told, event plus response equals to outcome. How you respond to a certain situation, that brings an outcome for your mind. And that is how our neurons, the neurological pathways works. Second question about conditioning, as Amrinder asked. Again, this has happened with me in front of my eyes, so I'm sharing that with you. So I have my younger brother. He was 8 years old at that time, and my grandma, she was there. He used to cry a lot. Usko kuch bhi chahiye hota, he used to cry a lot. And he was a crybaby. I always tell him. And that time also, he wanted something and he didn't get, so he was crying. My grandma told him, "Ladki hai kya? Kyun ro raha hai?" And usko laga ladki. He was not sure about the word. Probably वो 8 साल से भी छोटा था उस time. Not sure about the age, but he was not sure about that ladki या ladka वाला चीज. एंड उसको लगा लड़की समथिंग होना इज काइंड ऑफ अ सिन, एंड वो जितने भी आंसू आ रहे थे बाहर वो सारे यूं वापस अंदर चले गए. आई कैन नॉट क्राई, आई एम नॉट अ गर्ल, आई कैन नॉट क्राई. This was the first thing that I have noticed in my life about conditioning. How it impacts, I'll come on it later. Now, since then, he was less than 8 years. Since then, now he is 25. Since then, मैंने उसको रोते हुए नहीं देखा है. He got very bad marks in one of. I'm sorry if he'll see me on Facebook. He's going to kill me. So he got not so good marks, and he felt very upset. But he didn't say it to anyone. He didn't say it to anyone. I could feel that there's something wrong with him. He needs to talk. Even I tried, but no. He had those things, those emotions in his eyes, and he wanted to vent out, but he was not. So this is what conditioning does to us. इंडिया में सबसे ज्यादा हार्ट अटैक हमारे पास मैंने अभी देखा था. मिस्टर विक्रांत वाज देयर, मिस्टर राकेश पचौरी इज आल्सो देयर, अनूप जोशी इज आल्सो देयर. सर, इंडिया में सबसे ज्यादा हार्ट अटैक किसको आते हैं सर, बताएंगे? मिस्टर विक्रांत, मिस्टर जोशी, मिस्टर पचौरी.
So you guys can unmute and
you can also comment in the chat box.
Yeah.
सबसे ज्यादा हार्ट अटैक यूरोसर्च तो आई एम श्योर पढ़ा होगा, एंड इफ यू मैरिड तो पता ही होगा.
Yeah. So there's answers coming up, men.
सबसे पहला आंसर आया मिस्टर पचौरी. He says men.
So rather, Mr. Pachori had an interesting question also. Maybe you can take up it right there. So he says, what if one cannot express his despair of loneliness due to societal pressure?
So we are coming to that. That's why I think this heart attack wala thing. We are coming to that only.
Yeah.
All right. So
just one sec, Akanksha. I think what I'm trying to gather here is that with whatever story you've explained and this conditioning part that you're talking about, are we trying to say that how we deal with it? So we have agreed that loneliness, feeling alone, being lonely, is somewhere attached to our emotions and our neurological impacts.
Yes.
And are we saying that it may have an influence on how we are brought up and some stereotypes attached to the genders, whether it's a male or a female, boy or a girl, that has an impact on how we deal with it and how we address it or how we receive it also? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, yes. I'm coming to that only now. So as Mr. Pachori answered that सबसे ज्यादा हार्ट अटैक जो सफर करते हैं वो मेन हैं, फीमेल भी उसी लिस्ट में आ रही हैं धीरे धीरे. So I read the survey in 2013 in Times of India, where the complete percentage was shared, the ratio was shared, where they say India में सबसे ज्यादा हार्ट अटैक मेन को आते हैं. आप जब आप एक छोटे से 6 साल के बच्चे को बोल रहे हो तो लड़की है कि तू रोएगा, वो क्या करेगा? वो आंसू सब अंदर लेके जा रहा है, and he's bottling up his emotions. He feels bad, he feels hurt, he's not crying. He don't want to tell you because he is supposed to portray himself as a strong man. क्योंकि हमारी सोसाइटी में जो मेल मेंबर्स होते हैं, जो मेन होते हैं, उनको स्ट्रॉन्ग होना ही होना है. लड़कियों का जन्म से अधिकार होता है, कोई चीज नहीं मिली रो दो, मुंह फुला के बैठ जाओ. ये हमारी कंडीशनिंग है. This is very being very blunt, but yes, this is true. आदमी रो नहीं सकते because they are supposed to portray themselves as very strong because they are the pillars of a family. I haven't seen my dad crying or feeling upset about something. I haven't seen that. So there's this lady, the first lady Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi. उनका एक quote मैंने पढ़ा था. Character is what we do when no one is seeing us. Character is what we do when no one is seeing us. I'm not talking about that portrayal character that people talk about, that society talk about. I'm talking about the character of individuality, who we are. मेरी mom, मेरे dad, मेरा भाई, मेरी बहन, मेरा husband, कोई नहीं बता सकता कि as an individual मैं क्या हूँ. सिर्फ मैं बता सकती हूँ. सिर्फ मैं बता सकती हूँ. हम अकेले में जब होते हैं, हमारे क्या थॉट्स आते हैं, हम किसके बारे में क्या सोचते हैं, अपने बारे में क्या सोचते हैं, that is reality and we have to accept it. If you are not accepting that, you are going on a wrong direction. You're not going towards yourself, you're going towards some imaginary destination.
Absolutely. I
And
think
once you are alone, I'm sorry, Amrita, once you are alone, feel the emotions that you're feeling. It's necessary to feel the emotions. Name the emotions. First of all, name the emotions. I have seen people, they say something and there is a feeling behind that, but they don't want to name it. They are scared of naming that feeling, even if it's being jealous of someone, even if it's being irritated about something. They are not ready to name that emotions, and I don't understand why. Majority of the people, when they do this, they don't name an emotion. They are cheating on themselves. They're deceiving on themselves. You are supposed to name that emotion first and acknowledge that, accept that, yes, right now I am feeling this. Once you will do that, you can resolve that emotion of yours, that emotional baggage of yours. You can resolve that.
I think accepting ourselves, accepting others as well. Even when we say women can, express themselves a little better, but men are not able to. So even I think we all women also need to be accepting towards our parents, towards our siblings, and to our spouses.
We have different paradox. As my experience, that is completely my experience, and also the studies that I have done so far. So how this happens? पूरा burden men ने उठाया हुआ है अपने सर पे फैमिली को संभालने का. फीमेल का क्या है कि her complete life, especially the women who's not working, her completely life is dependent on her husband, her kids. My kids are my priority. कैसे? If you are not your priority, your kids cannot be your priority. कह देने से नहीं होता है. एक word है, एक conditioning statement है that you are using again and again. If you're not happy within, you can't keep others happy. If you're not, if you yourself are not your priority, your kids cannot be your priority. This is very blunt statement, but this is very true. The mind plays a game. The mind is in itself. It can be a hell or heaven. That's completely on your mindset. So one more thing I would tell you over here is, I was in 11th standard and my father was admitted. There was some stunts, heart stunts ka kuch tha, jo he was supposed to be operated, and he was in army. So army mein discipline rehna and thoda sa emotionless or thoda sa wo ek structured routine hota hai, they have to follow and very disciplined. And ये इतने टाइम पे होना है तो मतलब होना है. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. That means you have to wake up at 5 a.m. You have to go for jogging. That means you have to go for jogging. And this is a disciplined structure, which I appreciate. But so I was in 11th standard and we went. So I was waiting outside an open heart surgery center in a military hospital itself. And there were few lines written on that door. And I always repeat these lines. At that time, I was not able to understand those lines. Now I understand it very deeply, and I understand each and every word that was written over there. So it was in Hindi, and it was like, अगर दिल खोल लिया होता यारों के साथ, तो आज नहीं खोलना पड़ता औजारों के साथ. अब यारों यहाँ पे एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर दिया हुआ है, फ्रेंड्स. उससे मैं थोड़ा सा डिसएग्री करती हूँ. अपने साथ ही खोल लो पहले. अपने साथ खोलो. Be true to yourself.
That's wonderful. I think Pooja also wants to share some research. So yes. I think at this, with respect, when we are having these kind of discussions, so she wants to share some research with respect to introverts and extroverts.
Amazing.
So, yeah. So please, Pooja, unmute yourself and let us know your perspective.
Hi. Good evening to all of you. First and foremost, let's what the panel has said, that yes, loneliness is not a problem. But the problem becomes when things get serious at a level where you enter into depression and there are certain changes in your day-to-day activities. Then you can say that, yes, loneliness is a problem. The research also says that sometimes if we are introvert and we shift to extrovert, being extrovert, why this thing happens, because if you are introvert and you have certain you have shared that moment with yourself by being lonely, then again you become an extrovert. because there is a situation where it says that कि अब मेरा ये level पूरा हो चुका है where I wanted to be with myself. Now I need people socially. I want to indulge with them, and when you indulge with those people, you get the energy again, and again you go back to your shell of being introvert. So this is a research which says that you can shift from introvert to extrovert, and even well-connected people are also lonely sometimes, and this is the reason because when they are too much extrovert, they need that moment to be with themselves, so they enter into that being of introvert. So it's fine if a person is lonely, and for just that it should not enter into that extreme stage of going into depression or feeling worthless. So these things should not be there. So introvert and extrovert, you can shift from these levels. And when we say that we talk too much and sometimes I feel like I don't want to talk to anybody, this is the reason when we shift from when I'm talking and being social, and then I'm entering into my own shell of exploring myself. So this is what I wanted to say on loneliness.
I think
Thank you.
I think that's wonderful. Thanks, Pooja, for sharing it. And I think with this, I will also like to add on, if somebody wants to add, how important is self-awareness for this paradox, alone or lonely, before we shift to the panelists to have their perspectives. How important is self-awareness? Maybe somebody wants to put up their thoughts on this. Hila, you want to add something? Should self-awareness and being alone and or loneliness. Anything you want to add on? You need to unmute yourself. Hila, you need to unmute yourself and please let us know your thoughts, and then we get back to our panelists.
Thank you, Amrinder. I just heard Pooja and I loved her perspective. And the thing is that self-awareness comes only when you start dwelling about yourself, like when you start discovering yourself.
Right.
There are times, like for years and years, we are not even aware that we exist. We are so like in the rut of fulfilling our responsibilities, we forget ourselves. And उसी process में कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग lonely हो जाते हैं, alone रहना तो भूल ही जाते हैं.
Absolutely.
For our own development, for our own inner, what should I say, search.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think thanks Hila for letting us know your thoughts. So now Shalini, I would like you to help us understand if there are some tools or ways so that we can support this paradox of loneliness, to embrace and have positive emotions. Over to you, Shalini.
Thank you. I'm just enjoying this discussion. Thank you. Yeah, because we have lovely audience and they are bringing in their perspective. It's amazing. Thank you, Pooja, for your research. Hila, for your comments. Rinku, for your questions. Because unless you ask questions, how will we, it just opens up the discussion. Because the perspective changes, we are thinking from one point of view and you are bringing in a different perspective. So as I said earlier that, okay, so before I answer that question, again, I want to put one question to all of you. To get to the tools, what is the most critical thing, or what is the most important thing we should do? What is it that will make us get to the tools? What is it that we should do which will make us...
Identifying the problem, actually. Then only we can actually go ahead with the solutions, maybe.
Anybody else? So I have an answer from Rinku, from Ekta, from Amrinder. So it is acceptance, as the three of you said, acceptance, awareness. Unless we know that we are getting into it, we are already suffering or dealing with this, how will we know it? खाना चाहिए, पता हो तभी तो खाना मिलेगा. Then only we'll decide the tool. Then only we'll decide whether I want rice or I want a pizza. So we need to know the hunger first. So if I tell you that, if I ask you a question that if loneliness was a person, how would you describe loneliness? Loneliness once came and sat next to me and she started talking to me and said, hey, I'm loneliness. Do you recognize me? If she comes to you or he comes to you, how would you think he or she would look? Or what do you think the character would be? How do you think her disposition would be? I need an answer, please. Anything, just let your minds wander. There's no right or wrong. We're just having a discussion. You can say, Shalini, you're wrong. I don't agree to you.
So,
Come on. If loneliness was a person, what do you think? The color which she's wearing or he's wearing, disposition, how would he or she be feeling? What do you think? Loneliness is a person.
Somebody who's dark, very low life condition, and even if there is a lot of fun and enjoyment happening around him or her, is still, coiled in his or her own cocoon. And why I say this is because I'd like to share a personal experience. When my father was unwell and he was in coma, and I was with him for about a month, and then I went back to my workplace in Bombay, and I was not able to comprehend that what was going in my mind. And I was at work, but I wasn't there. I wasn't myself. And but what helped me regain myself was because I took certain cues from my own behavior, and my friends around, including my domestic health, highlighted certain key personality traits of mine that they are missing. So for me, that was the dark side of it. And I think as the question that you asked first, that unless and until there is acceptance to something, there is no way that any one of us, even if we offer some tools, will be able to imbibe them and get out. And I think that, for me, if I say, I've been hearing about everybody talking about the pandemic being one of the major reasons to feel low or dejected in life, and any other adjective that you want. I think for me, it's a self-awareness time, because there is so much that I've been able to identify about myself, what I can do and what I can't do. So it's been a year of learning. There's been a year of self-improvement for me, at least till now. How it's going to be, I don't know, but I guess I would like to continue like that. So that's what I wanted to share.
So, very, 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 very nice perspective. Yes, Amrinder, you were saying.
And there are, and there are responses from Rinku and Ila.
Yeah, can you just read it out, because I'm not able
so
to read
Rinku's, so Rinku is saying, I see her as a somber, sad, low, the person you call as loneliness. And Ila says it's a serious, dull person loving itself. And QCOM, I don't know, but she says, कितना भी मौन रह लो, फिर भी एक शब्द बोलते ही लोग बहस करने लगते हैं. That's the way it is. So it's like loneliness is something which is dark, somber, kind of, maybe we do not want to see that person. Maybe I take it that way.
So absolutely, even I would look at loneliness, maybe worn out, distressed, tired. She's sitting next to me and, maybe feeling so drained out. So loneliness told me that, what, I don't have a home. I go to heart. I go visit everybody's heart to find a home. And I've been given one task to do. And that task is to let or to make the person courageous, to make the person accepting, and to make the person love himself. And the moment that person do that, I have to leave. Imagine if we look at loneliness as a person who herself is looking for love, who doesn't have a home, who's looking for sympathy, empathy, and if we try to see that, all right, you know what, she'll feel better if I am courageous. She'll feel better if I accept it. So let me make her happy and let me let her go. Because this is a task. If I don't let let the task be done, she may be, let me make her happy. So if we don't let loneliness overpower us, we will not be depressed. So the trick is, you feeling lonely? You don't know what loneliness is. It's a huge thing. You don't know. If we make it sound that it's a person sitting in front of me and who himself or herself needs help, and if I do something, if I accept something and I can help her or him, I am more powerful than that person who's sitting next to me. When I feel that power is within me, I will figure out ways and means to do it. The first step is taken. We have to take one step at a time. So I have accepted that there is an issue, but I know that loneliness, I am more powerful than loneliness, because she is also running from heart to heart. She has to do her work. She has to leave that heart the moment their work is done. And I need to help her while I'm helping myself. So I am more powerful. If I see something like that. Second, as I told you, initially we said that smile. Play with your mind. If the mind is playing trick with you, trick your mind into it. And just smile. It might be difficult. When we are going through a problem, it is not easy to smile. Especially when we have lost a loved one. When we are dealing with grief, we may slip into loneliness and depression. And it is not easy to smile. And most of us may have gone through that. And how do we deal with that at that point in time? Again, knowing that this is a phase. Yes, I am going through it. This is a phase. I have to force myself. All right, I don't want to smile. As Ekta said, that she would do something else. Probably she'll wear a brighter shades. We can do something which will make us happy. We know so many things. You don't want to dance, don't dance. Go step out. You know how powerful is the sun? Go, be in the sun. Take its energy and you'll feel cheerful. We are sitting in India right now, and where India is blessed to have sun all through the year. There are countries which don't have. Go out, take the energy of the sun. Let's do one activity if we have time. Do we have time, Amrinder? Can I do a quick activity?
So all 2 minutes, I think we are already over the time, and we have to take a couple of questions.
So just maybe, all of you, if you have a pen or a pencil, or you have a phone, or you can just write it on the message, whatever. I want you to write 5 things appreciating yourself. Minimum 5, you can go on to 10, 20, 30, 40 as if Amrinder, if she allows us.
I'll just give you 2 minutes. And I'll give you 2-3 minutes to Akasha. I think quickly you can do that.
So we'll do quickly. Come on, you have to help me, because otherwise I won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
So just 5 things: appreciation, and kuch bhi likh lo. And something, if somebody doesn't know, okay, fine, everybody knows that Shani loves to talk, but there's something which people may not know. So I would want you to write that. I have a long list. I love myself. I'm a narcissist, it seems.
Even I am also that kind of person.
I know, bordering. I know.
Kareena Kapoor ka dialogue hai na, main apni favorite hu.
Exactly. If we keep telling this to ourselves, loneliness, बेचारी ना उसको सच में एक और घर ढूंढना पड़ेगा सच में. So have we done that? Have we written the 5 things? So have everybody...
Ela shares, I am positive, I am a learner, I am patient, I am cooperative, and I am fond of striking a conversation. So we can have 1 or 2 couple of answers if anybody wants to share.
Yeah, please. I would love to.
Yeah. I'm also quite a narcissist, so I would also want to share.
Yeah, please do.
So I'm a good cook. I write well. I do good financial mentoring. I am an empathetic human being. I look wonderful in a sari. I dance well. I sing well. And I love myself.
Wow, awesome.
And Sukhpreet shares. She has just only one. She has just a line she has shared, and it's beautiful. She says, "I always carry a smile." I think that's beautiful.
Yes, that is such a beautiful thing.
And QCOM, I don't have her name, but she says, "I'm strong every day." So I think that's also that's beautiful. So I think
So if we maintain this, if we remember these things, these 5 things, or 6 things, 10 things every day, the moment we are slipping into something, just remember these. Hey, you know what? I'm these things. I'm this, I'm this, I'm in this, I'm this. You will instantly, your energy will be up. Instantly. वो instant वो noodles होते हैं ना हमारे, उससे भी जल्दी instantly. 2 minutes भी नहीं चाहिए. I mean, within 2 seconds. So these are the small things. I am not a medical expert. Medical expert, I had to share this with you. Do you know that smoking 15 cigarettes, 15 cigarettes in a day is what our body, the way, okay, I'm losing my words. I'm too excited about this. So how the way our body, when it gets impacted badly with 15 cigarettes, that's how much our body gets affected when we feel lonely. Imagine that we are smoking 15 cigarettes in a day and we are feeling lonely. Just imagine. And 15 cigarettes, and I just need 5 appreciation. The self in me just needs 5 appreciation, and the lonely sitting next to me also needs that. Hey, it's okay. You are lonely. Don't make me feel lonely. Let's be friends. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I think, yeah. So now I get to Akansha. She wants to share some tools and techniques. And Akansha, it needs to be a little quick. We have 2-3 questions which we have to take, and we are already over the time. So maybe in 2-3 minutes, if you can help us out with your thoughts.
Okay. So first we'll try to understand the 3 tips that you need to focus on if you're feeling lonely, low. So first you will ask what as I mentioned earlier, what are you feeling stressed about? What is that thing? Second is how you can express that emotion or feeling of yours. How doesn't mean that you need to shout. It means a polite and a very easy way to express that emotion. For example, you might feel jealous of someone. Probably he or she is taking the credit of something. So how you can, if you acknowledge the fact that I am feeling jealous, so how we can do that? How we can express that emotion? Answers on the chat please. How can we express that emotion? If I'm feeling Akansha is feeling jealous of someone, how she can express that emotion of hers? Because if I'm bottling up that emotion, I'm going nowhere. It's all about loneliness. Loneliness and aloneness mein difference hai. Loneliness is negative. Alone is positive. Alone also means akele. Loneliness matlab bhi akele, irrespective of the fact how many people are with you. Okay, so how am I going to express my emotions if I am feeling jealous of someone? How can I do that? By bad random person she's jealous of. Okay. Okay, I'll talk to someone and I'll say say negative words about the person that I'm feeling jealous of. More answers, more.
Breaking that person's head. Does it sound okay?
Okay. Is there a better way?
Yeah, that's the better way. I'll write. Yeah, I'll write it on the paper and definitely try to introspect.
I usually, Suchi says, I usually keep quiet. Ekta Sehgal says by ignoring. By keeping quiet, by ignoring, you are bottling up your emotion, that jealousy emotion in your head. So we are supposed to express that emotion. How can we do that? Come on, people. I don't know that feeling. That is a little hard to believe. Okay, more. Okay, I'm waiting for the answers. By maybe saying it. Bang on, Ekta, bang on. Now, saying doesn't mean that I'm going to be and I'm saying, see, I'm feeling jealous of you. That doesn't mean that. So how can we do that? Probably जिस वजह से हम jealous feel कर रहे हैं या जो भी situation arise हुई है, we can go and rephrase our sentence or reframe our sentence. अभी शालिनी ने आपको 5 words लिखने के लिए बोले थे अपने बारे में, positive words. We call that affirmation as well. So and affirmation also plays a very important role in reframing. So how we see a situation. People say this is the year of pandemic. I say this is the year of wonders. In 1625, there was this guy called Newton, जिसको हम आज भी जानते हैं. क्यों जानते हैं? E = mc square. और वो एप्पल गिरा था. हम होते तो हम खा जाते, पर उसने वो ग्रेविटी का पता लगाया कि एप्पल गिरा है, क्यों गिरा है, उस वजह से पता लगाया. He was the man. 1625 में bubonic plague hit Europe badly, and he was the man who was there for 1 year at his home. And उस 1 साल के बाद multiple researches that he has done. He published them. Light is colorful. He was the one who told the world. Also, he told about many other researches that he has done, and people know him because of his work. So, अगर हम हैं उस जगह पे, we'll crib about this situation. अरे यार कहाँ फंस गए, घर पे हैं, बाहर नहीं जा सकते, business बंद हो गया, ये बंद हो गया, ये नहीं कर पा रहे, वो नहीं कर पा रहे. अगर न्यूटन होता है इस जगह पर, तो न्यूटन अपनी रिसर्चेस कर रहा होता. So this is lonely and alone. Newton is alone. Newton was alone, but not lonely. He was happy with himself. So once I know that I'm feeling this emotion of jealousy, I find a way to express that by communicating to that person, by reframing my sentences, what I am feeling jealous of. Let's talk. I won't be saying that I'm feeling jealous of you, but yes, I'll try to communicate. Communication is the key.
Absolutely.
If you are not communicating, you're bottling up your emotions over here. The neurons, the neurological pathways are going to release antibodies, and वो in return, and it has been scientifically proven, हमारे जो genes और DNA हैं, वो scientists ने भी prove किया हुआ है, वो हमें happy करने के लिए ही हैं. वो हमें happy करने के लिए है, but it is the conditioning and the society that we are living in that conditions us to react in some way. Right?
Absolutely.
So when I talk about affirmation, there are also few words. Abhi Shalini and Amrinder were also talking about that. We call it anchoring. It is for neuro-linguistic programming that our body does on every basis, and we do it on a daily basis. For example, when you feel sad, ज़्यादातर लोग क्या करते हैं? वो FM on कर देंगे, या probably phone या speakers पे चला देंगे. तन्हाई तन्हाई, और वो और जितना सैड हो सकते हैं उस तन्हाई को सुन के वो और तन्हा होते चले जाते हैं उस गाने को. अब यहाँ पे हम क्या कर रहे हैं? नेगेटिव एंकरिंग. क्या कर रहे हैं? नेगेटिव एंकरिंग. People, please, I need your comments in the chat section. I cannot see you, but probably if you'll write, we are going to have a conversation. So हम negative anchoring कर रहे हैं, but how can we do a positive anchoring? So we have 5 sense organs. Can anyone write 5 sense organs? Little easily, if somebody can write the 5 senses.
I think you could help us out with the stuff, and
Okay.
let's go ahead. Yeah.
Come on, people. Anyone can write, I guess. 5 sense organs that we talk about. हम बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं वो चीज. फटाफट बस. Okay, listening. Yes, listen to happy songs. Ear. Okay.
Touch, tongue.
Touch, feel. Okay, very good, very nice. More. Taste, yummy food. Taste. Okay. What else?
See, seeing.
Smell. Nose. Okay.
Seeing, actually, visualization and seeing.
Yes.
The thing.
Eyes, ears, nose, tongue. 4 हो गए. 5th क्या था? Feel.
Feel.
5th is feel. So yeah, that is yes, skin. Now through these sense organs only, कोई भी हम neurological impact हमारे mind पर होता है through these sense organs only. We see something, we feel something, हमें चोट लगती है, हम क्या करते हैं? हम एकदम से हाथ हटा लेते हैं. हाथ जलने वाला होता है, हम क्या करते हैं? हाथ हटा लेते हैं. एकदम से reaction होता है, right? But अगर हमें कोई ऐसी situation देखती है, हमें कुछ negative word सुनाई दिया है, हमने या फिर कुछ ऐसा देखा है या कुछ हो रहा है सभी लोगों के साथ ऐसा, that also impacts our mind. That is negative anchoring happening. How we can change our mind state in that regards? How can we do that? I remember how I used to do it, and it worked for me. So when I see good things, when I read books, instead of watching television, I call television an idiot box, and I hardly see any news or programs on television, because television is an idiot box, to be very honest with you. Or at times I skip news too. So हम कुछ भी देखते हैं, that impacts our mind. हम कुछ taste करते हैं, that also. So there were orange candies, and this is proven. People, this is proven. There were orange candies. If you're feeling low, few people go for orange candies or lemon candies, because they enhance the taste and they give a different action to your neural pathways, and they start working differently. People have that aroma oils. They go for that. वो भी relaxing के लिए काम आता है. People go for dance therapy. People go for art therapy. because that helps them to be alone, and at that time they are not thinking about XYZ condition or situation. At that time they are with, so when they are drawing, they're completely trying to make those circles. So there's one mandala art that people follow for stress free thing, and it is very effective. And the aroma oils also, they're all very effective. And I would also tell you over here that your physiological conditions impact your neurological conditions.
Absolutely, Akansha. I think we are already over the time. I'll just take a quick question. I think that's.
I'll just say one line over here.
Sure.
Sorry to interrupt you in between. Just one line, because sure. I'm supposed to explain this line to people.
Sure.
So when you're doing something, you're dancing, or you are taking a physical action, it helps your neurological pathways to work in a different scenario. So if I'm dancing, if I'm anchoring myself in a positive way, this is, I call, earlier we were talking about negative anchoring, now we are talking about positive anchoring. How can we do that? How we can change that mind state of ours? At that time I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling negative. Now I need to change my mindset. How can we do that? These are the 5 sense organs that can help us in doing that. We are getting into loneliness because of these 5 sense organs, and we can deviate from that loneliness because of these 5 sense organs only. So a disciplined routine, एक्सरसाइजिंग एंड मेडिटेशन. एक ग्लास है हमारे पास, पानी का भरा हुआ है, उसमें मैं 1 चम्मच नमक डालती हूँ, घोलती हूँ, डिसॉल्व करती हूँ, क्या होगा? डिसॉल्व हो जाएगा. 2 चम्मच डालती हूँ, डिसॉल्व हो जाएगा. 3 चम्मच डालती हूँ, डिसॉल्व हो जाएगा, प्रोबेबली डिपेंडिंग ऑन द क्वांटिटी ऑफ सॉल्ट एंड वाटर. चौथा है, 5वां डालने की कोशिश करती हूँ, वो डिसॉल्व होगा? नहीं होगा, बिल्कुल भी नहीं होगा. क्यों नहीं होगा? बिकॉज देयर इज अ सैचुरेशन पॉइंट टू दैट. There is a saturation point to that. Similarly, when you practice these positive anchors, there comes a saturation point where you don't feel loneliness anymore. It comes to you, but that does not impact you. It comes to you. At times you encounter that loneliness, but that does not impact you. But it comes with practice. This is what meditation is. Meditation can be in the dance form. Meditation can be in your exercises that you do on regular basis. Meditation can be a walk that you go in the morning walk. Meditation can be any art that you make. Meditation can be just sitting all alone and closing your eyes and thinking about the good incidents that happened in your life. Meditation is just being with yourself. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And no complaining.
Absolutely. Accepting everything. So there is a question, maybe Shalini, you can take that, and then we go ahead with compiling the session. So what to do when our spouse speaks less at home, however he's tagged as a jovial person in office? So this is a question from one of our attendees who wants to understand how does she handle this situation?
When a spouse speaks less at home.
Yeah, but is very happy in the office or maybe somewhere outside.
Let's say on a lighter note, it's okay, na?
Absolutely. That's the perfect answer.
But well, so in any relationship, be it a marriage or a friendship or anything, we need to give that space in a relationship. And again, here we're talking about expectations. We want that the person has to behave in a certain way, and the person is not behaving that way, and the expectation is not met. Maybe that person is jovial outside. You never know. That person feels much calmer when he is at home not talking, because he feels at peace. He feels that he doesn't have to keep blabbering and talking to make himself heard. Maybe it's a positive sign, I feel, that he feels that he's understood without even speaking a word. Why don't we see it in that way? Absolutely. So if he's happy, he's being understood, he doesn't want to really talk. Imagine you being understood without even speaking a word. What a beautiful situation you would be in. So I want to appreciate the spouse that, he's able to do it, and you're in a very good space.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Rinku also had another thought which she likes to share, that basis all the conversations we are having. She's saying, so are we saying finding a ritual for ourselves is how we handle difficult feelings? Does that?
Yes. So finding a ritual.
Acknowledging and practicing.
Acknowledging and practicing. 2 words, Shalini, if you like to answer this question in just 2 words. Maybe another sentence.
No, finding a ritual is very important because we are getting our body and mind used to a certain thing. Because our mind is just like a child. You are anchoring your mind through the ritual. When you're anchoring your mind, as she spoke about positive things and everything, you have to anchor and hold your mind. So this is what rituals do to you. But I just want to say, there is one big but. When we get into that whole habitual thing, we should be able to break it so that the monotony doesn't set in. The moment the monotony sets in, we stop doing it. So we need to keep improvising on those rituals. And that is when we're going to start, we will enjoy it throughout.
Absolutely. I think that's a beautiful culmination that we will be enjoying when we are actually accepting ourselves. And with this, I think we are through with the session. And I would say that if everyone leaves us with respect to alone or loneliness paradox, that even if everybody else leaves, we will always have ourselves. So loving ourselves, being kinder to ourselves, because this is the person we will be actually spending the life with, is the first step towards self-acceptance, self-awareness, which is a prerequisite to self-love, and definitely should be a state of bliss. So the pain series, this was the episode 1, and we are having the second episode of the pain series on 16th of August from 5 to 6 p.m. And we will like to have all our audiences joining in, where we will be having another discussion with perspectives coming from different people, from the experts, how to embrace and accept ourselves. Thank you everyone so much for your interest, and we look forward to meeting you. You can also connect to us on our Facebook page, which I'm putting in this chat box, and you can write to us over the email. And yes, not the least, we are wanting your feedback to the questions. Just 2 questions which we have put there, but it will help us to understand the perspectives as further we plan our sessions. Thank you again. Thank you, the panel experts, Shalini and Akansha. I think you girls were wonderful. There is so much to learn. There's definitely a lot of perspectives coming from neurology background, and definitely the meditation and the spiritual background. And thank you to all the participants for being so involved. And as I'm talking, we are putting up the Facebook link and feedback link as well. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. We had a lovely audience. Thank you, Amrinda. Amazing session. Thank you, Akansha. You were an amazing co-panelist, and I had an amazing, awesome time.
Gratitude to one of you. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm putting up the Facebook page link for everyone to follow up, and definitely feedback. If you guys can there's just 2 questions which are there, and you guys can, just 2 questions, not much, but it will help us to plan further the stuff, the discussions which we like to have with you all. And that is definitely amazing. Anything else, if anyone wants to share their... Yeah, thank you so much.
People, please remember, communication is the key. Communicate with yourself, communicate with people around you, and it's better that you don't bottle up your emotions.
And with us, please communicate with us.
Absolutely.
You're always there.
Communicate with everyone.
You can post on MQ page or probably in the messenger box, and we'll be happy to answer all the queries. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, and definitely we are waiting for the feedback. It's very important, and please do give your perspectives, which will help us. And just 2 questions. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.